Hello world, Wednesday, January 18. I wanted to make a video from home, reading with you some sources, some pieces of news that explain better than I may be able to do it in a camera without scripting, because these videos are not scripted. Today, I'm making this video after the one that I recorded on Sunday, posted Monday morning, because Tuesday I was in Guayaquil city. I had to go there due to a family situation. It was a back and forth trip. I was in Guayaquil the entire day, because I left Cuenca early morning, 5:30. I got in Guayaquil by 9:30, something like that. And I left Guayaquil 6:30 p.m. Arrived in Cuenca 10. I tried to record something while I was in Guayaquil or on the way to Guayaquil, but I quit that because I didn't know, and I was a little bit nervous about going there, concerned of the situation, of course. And it was way better than expected, but I wasn't sure how it was going to be. So I took an old cell phone that I have, like a spare cell phone, and I didn't bring camera. I didn't bring too many things on me because I wasn't nervous about how it could be. But well, let me tell you, here I show you a little bit of what I was recording on the road. It's a nice trip, but it has like one section that always has landslides. There was not a big thing yesterday, just one part of the road that is bad, but it's just meters, not too much. And a big rock that was in the middle of the road. We went there with a skilled driver. The landscape was beautiful. We didn't have a lot of fog, we didn't have a lot of rain, so it was nice. Once there, cool. Once being there inside the city, I didn't know how it was going to be, but yeah, I saw police, army in areas where I didn't expect them to be, so that was nice. But of course, they are not there all the time, so I'm not telling you that Guayaquil is now safe all out of a sudden. People on the streets, a lot. People need to eat, need to work, need to earn some income, so yeah, the streets were full. I used the public transport because, to where I was going, it was the best to use public transport, and it was okay, full, normal, the streets. I'm showing you some pictures here, some shots. Well, about news, what do you want to know? There are many things, because between Monday and today, Wednesday evening, many things have happened. And now, just about 2-3 hours ago, the most shocking news that is trending right now is that the attorney, well, according to our system, I wouldn't know how the equivalent to your system would be. Something like, let's say, a district attorney, but an attorney that was leading the case, the investigation against the guys who entered the channel, the TV station, was killed. His car was shot, multiple shots. It's shocking news, because this is war, this is terrorism. It's causing terror, because the idea is to tell other people, okay, if you're going to investigate against us, we're going to do this. But on the other hand, yeah, you know who you're targeting. Non-targeted people, robberies, of course, that still exists. Not disappear, but it wouldn't happen overnight. Here in Cuenca, the situation is basically the same. Not a big issue. Yes, there are robberies. There are people who get caught, but that's, like in almost every city. At this moment, Cuenca is still one of the safest cities in the continent, and I see they are taking more measures to prevent robberies, prevent things. We haven't had strong things. The only thing, I'm talking about murder, kidnapping, lots of these things that we have in other parts, especially like in Guayaquil, or Santo Domingo, or Quevedo. Another thing that happened, or that has happened in several areas of the country, is that they have planted dynamite pieces, explosives. And these explosives, there was one in Cuenca also found on Monday morning near a kindergarten. It was deactivated, or it was exploded under control by the police, so it didn't harm anyone. After that, no, not really something that we can say it's beyond the normal situation. With normal situation, I'm talking pickpocketing or small robberies that exist in almost every big city in the continent. No one said it was going to be easy. Yeah, no, I'm in a bubble here, and I was yesterday in Guayaquil. I found the situation better. I see that many places have closed, but this is a trend or something that was happening since many months ago, more than 1 year ago, because many areas have been receiving extortions. So it was like paying a double rent. You pay the rent for your place to the owner of the place, but also you were paying an extra rent to the gangs that were asking a week 100, 200, depending on your type of business. Some people are still paying that, and others are being threatened. But that's now the army is catching, and the police, many of these people. But in the last months it had increased so much that it will take a time. That's what I can tell you. Hopefully we keep the work like that, and we can protect the attorneys taking care of the cases. So what we're seeing in the last maybe 2 days, the situation is that the protection to the attorneys, to the people of Fiscalía, the fiscales, the attorneys who will be leading the charges against the gangs, against the criminals that are caught. Because if they are not well protected by the government, they're going to be scared and they're not going to proceed. Some are going to proceed, but if they are going to be attacked, the rest will not do anything. The second thing that has happened is, I told you in a video that our laws, they protect a lot, extremely protect the people who are caught in criminal acts. So the criminals are taking advantage of that, and some are asking for these special benefits, like, well, if I don't have a criminal background, or if I am in this situation, or if you catch me this way, I may ask for special benefits to wait for the court sentence or to wait for the trial out of prison. And so they are catching some criminals and they're being released. Not like fully released, but like they can wait outside on the streets for the disposition. This is not happening to most, it's just a bunch of them. But as long as we have these cases, these situations, it's going to be a problem for the police. So now people are demanding protection to the honest judges and attorneys, because if they are being threatened, they are not going to do anything, and the corruption will prevail. The second thing that people are demanding is that they clean these institutions, the judiciary system, and that they protect also the judges, because if they don't protect the judges, the gangs will threaten their families, and if the government can't protect them, they will simply give up and say, okay, whatever you say to the criminals. This doesn't have to necessarily affect us in our daily life, but it could be a big thing in the future if it is not attacked now. Now they are doing something. The Attorney General of the nation, Diana Salazar, she's been leading a corruption against high-ranked people in the judiciary system. And that is why the president of the National Court of Justice is now arrested because of her. She has a lot of protection, but they need to give the protection to everyone. That's the challenge of Novoa and the judiciary system and the Fiscalía General right now. And the other thing is to be able to fund the war against the gangs, because we need money. We need money for the diesel, for the gasoline of the cars, the tanks, for maintenance, for the meals of the army, the soldiers, the police in special districts, many things, intelligence system, a lot of money. They say today, or they said that we will need at least 1.2 billion a year to be able to hold this war. Maybe for high-income countries it's not that much, but here in Ecuador it is a lot, and we owe a lot of money. Our debt is more than 40 billion at the moment, and we don't have the money, we don't have enough income, and with all of this situation, investment is not so good. I wouldn't say it's that bad, but it's not good for what we need. So what is the government trying to do? The government wants to raise the VAT, value-added tax, IVA in Spanish-speaking countries, IVA, Impuesto al Valor Agregado, from 12% to 15%. This is not to all products, but of course, almost all products. It's not for basic products like rice, milk, the basic meals. But many people are complaining about this because they say, okay, why don't you charge more taxes to the banks, to the bankers, to the big companies, or why don't you charge the people who owe money to the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, SRI, Servicio de Rentas Internas? Because there are many people who owe. Not all of them are able to pay because many went to bankrupt, and that's a debt since many, many years ago, but others are, including the president's family's company. It's not his company, but it's very related to him. He's not part of it, but I mean, he's the president, so the company has his last name, so yeah, it's not being well seen by the people here that he doesn't force their relatives to pay their taxes, which is like 50 million out of interest. With interest, it's like 80 million, but he was able to pass a law in Congress, in the Assembly, that would exonerate the payment of about $30 million, US dollars, of course. And the president is proposing that we pay more taxes, but it's not forcing the companies to pay or charging more to the bankers. But most people, I could say, they agree with paying, instead of 12% of VAT, 15%, because they prefer to be paying to the government for having safety, instead of having to pay extortions, vaccines in Spanish, vacunas, so that we can invest, we can plan, we can open businesses and plan to the future, like, okay, I'm going to open this business, I'm going to make this amount of money in 1 year, blah, 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 and no one's going to extort me, or I'm going to have clients because there will be safety. So most people agree with this on the streets. The thing is that the Assembly has to approve this. It may be approved, but it's a debate that will last maybe 2 more weeks from now. There's not too much that I could say more for the moment. Hope this was a short report. In 2 days, I may do the next one, depending on what happens. But for the moment, we're seeing the police active, and also in areas that they have never been before, or that people wanted them to enter, which was rich areas where leaders of mafias or mafias have their houses. In Cumbaya this morning, they seized more than 100 rifles and lots of weapons and ammo. So we're going to see what happens with these cases, if they're going to be able to protect the attorneys for ending with this. That would be all for now. See you soon, and remember, you can subscribe also to the Telegram to have more updated information. Let me know what you would like to know, and we'll discuss about it in upcoming videos. Bye bye.